let's take another question from the audience that was pre-selected. Should I drop a million into QQY and SPYI and live off of the dividend?
Oh
They
man,
said it'll be over five figures dividend check per month.
those are the leverage ETFs.
Um, SPY it was high income ETF.
Okay.
Um, I love the idea. SPYI, that came about in 2022, and QQQI, I think the same time frame. If you're going to do this investment, you have to buy damn it at the lows because they're too new, they're too speculative of an investment at the time to do so. So now for QQQI, that would be maybe if you get it at 4207, but there's very little price movement in them. So that's the only thing that worries me. And if we go into a level as an investor, you always have to think worst case scenario, no matter what anybody else tells you. Um, it went from 53.8 at the start of the year down to 41, and now it's back at 53.8. It barely has moved. So you have to base this on price only, and if you don't get in at the right price, you're setting yourself up for failure. What I personally do is put $1 million into these. Not yet, not yet. I would need to see how the asset develops over the course of 2 or 3 years. Because if we hit issue in 26 or 27, there is a world where QQQI could go down to 25. And that's a tough feeling to have $1 million in something. And then the notional value or the actual value of it drops 30 or 40% while you're in it. So be careful.
So let's talk about this because this is like the red panda thing, right? As far as somebody says, how do I stay disciplined during these down markets when your targets don't get hit? I have been getting FOMO and
Mm-hmm.
want to stay focused to maximize my future portfolio. So if you're waiting for a stock, if you're waiting for, Bitcoin to hit a certain number and it's not hitting that number, do you just give in and buy it at the price because you think that it's going to continue to go up, or do you just wait?
You always have to wait and obey price. Please put this in chat. Obey price above all. Everyone who didn't got shellacked in Novo and MicroStrategy. It doesn't have, and even though he has the number of Bitcoin that he has, any asset could go to zero. The banks and hedge funds don't have to play fair. Um, so you have to wait for the price. Like you notice as a trader, if you wait for the wrong price or you jump the gun and try and trade solely off momentum, there's going to be a time when the asset draws down 40%. Unfortunately, in trading, if you're trading on leverage, it can go past your stop loss and the broker does not care.
Mm.
So you can have a $5,000 stop loss limit, but when they settle, you're down 30,000. So it's a lesson you learn in intraday trading, which applies to long term. You always wait for price.
Obey your
Always.
price.
Obey your price at all costs. Whatever the worst case basis is, that's where you want to place the majority of your money, and then you want to have secondary and tertiary levels after that. But just buy at any price, you're going to burn through your money really fast.
All right, so I'm gonna ask this because I know somebody's probably thinking this right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know my price that you've given me, but it's past the 70. It went past the 72-day EMA. It went down to your favorite 400-day EMA.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is this now the point where I don't put all of my investment in, but I stagger into the investment, or just strictly, hey, the price is the price. I don't care what the EMA is, and like I'm gonna add into it that the RSI says it's oversold right now. It's oversold.
What asset? And I can say I've always said this too.
How about Meta?
Okay, the bigger the EMA, that should always be where you're looking to load at. But that's a discipline thing. Most people aren't waiting for it to go to the 200-day movement. And then in a game of trading and investing, it's always a game of patience versus those who are beginners. A patient investor will wait for 6 months for a great time to load up, or a good trader will wait 2 or 3 weeks. A person that needs to trade every day, it's like, well, I have bills. I'm like, but you may have to wait 5 days to pay the bills for 3 months. You blew through your whole fucking account trading every day and trying to trade pairs, and then you want to trade ES and ZB and UB and Dow, and you didn't wait for the right move. You have to obey price, or the market is going to teach you. There are funds that have had billions of dollars who did not wait for the right price that went insolvent. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 or 100 million or $1.5 billion in the market, you can go insolvent. Fucking Lehman Brothers went out of business.
Mm.
Bear Stearns went out of. Let's just like Coinbase going out of business. You have to wait for price.
Wait for it.
We have to,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah. So are you doing, obviously in futures that matters, and options is pretty much the same. So like that example that we gave earlier with Sanders, I watched that get to it at 289.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about this, and I'm like, I just can't do it right now. I can't do it right now. A 56% drop from its all-time high. No, I'm interested. I'm interested because I know the 56% drop inside of the equity itself means that it's probably at least 60 to 70 on the option side.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just got to
I said
figure out.
earlier, a prime example, Lily.
Yeah. Yep.
April was a prime. Okay, now,
Oh my God.
okay, great. Home run. When a all-time asset is at a low like that, it's almost a guaranteed return basis. You got to do this for quality companies, though.
Here's a question. Is November the September and October we were waiting for?
Absolutely. For quality. If it's a C tier company, no. But if it's A class, for sure, because now the risk on is back on.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about it historically,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we kind of lead to this, like past performance doesn't always secure future gains.
Yeah.
September has historically been a month where we saw some pullbacks and it opened up opportunities for us to invest, right? You can look at it both ways. It's a bad time to be in the market, but it's a great time to get into the market, right? Because there's pullbacks in September. October, usually the same thing. And in November, we start to see an upturn. It's the best month historically to invest in the NASDAQ, right? With an average return of like 2.7% over the past like 30 or 40 years.
Yep.
And this November has kind of been, it feels like it was the October that we missed and the September that we missed with some of this volatility. I mean, last week for sure, the week before that, and then we have a day like today. But it feels like that volatility shakes out people who don't have conviction or not disciplined, were trading and having losses. And now it's like, okay, we've done that. Is it back to regularly scheduled programming?
And for those of you who are waiting for the Christmas rally, like your Christmas rally money is going to come in April and November. We're not in the traditional market because there's so many more people in the market now that the velocity of the drops and recovery times are speeding up. Like the April drop recovered so quickly. Like if you waited a month, you damn near wanted to quit investing because you felt like you missed a generational buy. So, but obey price at all costs, man. Obey price at all costs. So.
Hit the like button and share. So this was in the chat. Somebody in chat had a question. They said dollar cost average or wait to low. I'm kind of paraphrasing because I forgot exactly the question, but dollar cost average. People that don't know what dollar cost average is when you put money into the market every single month or on a consistent basis. It could be weekly, it could be bi-weekly, but let's say you have $200 and you're just putting it in. So the strategy, the idea behind that is that you usually end up better in that method because you buy low, you buy high, and you're buying the average over the course of time. So that's a disciplined way to invest, like a 401k. Where you just put money in no matter what the market is doing. Every 15th of the month, you just put the money into it and don't even worry about it. That's always recommended for sure. But I think if you have larger lump sums of money, then that's when you wait for
price. If you're deploying $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 at a time, you have to wait for price. Because you're not looking at the percentages. Like if you're putting in $100,000, you're done 28%. You're looking at 28,000. You're looking at a salary for somebody in your family when you were growing up. Like the financial trauma part does not go away if you're first generation or second generation. You have to wait for price.
Yeah. That'll scare you. I know, like I'm sure there's people who have just started investing, and this has been it hasn't been a typical year. Right? If you started investing in January and then the deep sea thing happened at the end of that month and it was still trending down, and then April 7th happens, you're like, this is what am I doing? And then May, June, July, August, September happens, and you're like, "Wow, this is the greatest thing ever."
Mhm.
And now we're in volatility again. You're seeing parts of the market that people don't like to talk about and are very scared of, and what scares people away. But that's why you got to be disciplined in this space, and I think that's why having community is important.
Yep.
Right? Because what I've noticed is that people are like, wait, no, this is explaining it. Even when we don't have to explain it, they're explaining it because they've witnessed it through the course of this show.
For the gentleman in the chat, so the 40 slots for the NVIDIA tour, you will know when that's no longer available, when it's no longer on the website. So if you see it still on the website, it's still available. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm can't calculate it at the same time that I'm doing the show.
You might
But
be a little busy right now.
if it's you will know that the NVIDIA thing has been taken off
Mhm.
when it is no longer on the website. That's the easiest way, because that you when you go on the website and you don't see the NVIDIA aspect, to me, I think it's a great deal without NVIDIA, to be completely honest
For
with you about
sure.
it, because you get the NVIDIA video anyway. Um, I mean, the NVIDIA is just like a cherry on the top.
Yeah, cherry on top.
But yeah, as long as you see the NVIDIA on the website, that means that it's still available.